On Monday afternoon, the Los Angeles Clippers had a 2-1 series lead over the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Golden State Warriors announced that point guard Steph Curry was diagnosed with a grade 1 MCL sprain in his knee and would be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Well, flash forward to Tuesday afternoon, and the Los Angeles Clippers announced that power forward Blake Griffin would miss the remainder of the postseason with an aggravation to his original quadriceps injury suffered in December, and that point guard Chris Paul was out indefinitely after undergoing surgery to repair a right-hand fracture. This obviously puts head coach Doc Rivers in a tough spot with the series with the Trailblazers tied at 2 games apiece. In an effort to avoid any more of Doc Rivers' quotes being taken out of context, Clipper Blog will air his entire availability from Tuesday afternoon following the devastating injury news.
Did we pass out like leaflets or something today?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's too many.
But Doc, with the injury report that's just come out, have you ever been part of a team where you lost 2 really key players like you have in the playoffs before?
Oh, no. I don't think a lot of people have, when you lose your 1 and 2. I'm sure it's happened. I just don't know when, and I know it didn't happen in the same game. I can tell you that for a fact. But it did happen, and so now we have to move to the next step for us. In our eyes, it's a 2-2 series. We still have home court. No one's won a road game yet in this series, and so now we have to find a way of winning tomorrow. And that's as far as we can think right now. My job with the guys is to make sure that they're ready and focused. It's easy when you have the injuries we have to think of all kinds of other stuff. And so my job is to make sure they're not.
I know you're talking about next man up, but how do you keep the gloom and doom from seeping into their minds?
Well, by playing well. That's the best way. I do know this, and I've said this all year, we have a very competitive basketball team, and they have proven that all year. We've won games before without key guys, and I think we can win games in the future without key guys.
Doc, who starts in their places?
We're not sure yet. We've had 10 different lineups on the board today. Most likely it'll be a pretty big lineup, but we're not sure yet.
I know you didn't see it happening this way with those games in OKC and Utah where the bench got more run.
Yeah. Well, that has to give them confidence. You go into OKC and score 120 points and then go into Utah and win a game with none of your guys. That gives you confidence. But this is a different beast. You're in the playoffs now, and everybody has focus. So we'll see. But I will say that I think they'll be ready.
The release says indefinitely for Chris. Is there any more clarity on that?
No, I think he's still actually in surgery. I don't know if he's out yet, but it's not as long as I think some may think it would be. That's the good news, but we don't know how long yet still.
All right, Doctor, one doctor said 4 weeks.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that would give us hope. You can write that. I'm guessing.
Was it a displaced fracture? Do you know the details?
I don't know the details. Okay. I really don't. I just knew it right when I saw it. I knew it was bad because I've seen hands that have one, and I said it on the bench. I said that's not good. I was hoping I was wrong. Unfortunately, I wasn't.
Have you seen through the replay or through talking to Chris how exactly that happened?
I think it was on the reach. What's interesting if you're watching, obviously we watched the film. He takes a dribble right after that, and he actually lifts his hand, and then he starts dribbling with it all the way down the floor. Actually makes an excellent pass. You remember the play. We had 2 threes wide open to tie the game. We missed them both, and then CP couldn't get down the court, and they actually make a 3. So you're talking about a turn of events in a game. Even with the made 3 and CP hurt, we would have fouled, and it's a tie game. But it's amazing how things change for you.
Did his hand get caught in the jersey?
I didn't see that. It just looked like on the hand, on the ball. CP's a reacher. He probably has the best hands in the league. On that time, it got caught in the wrong place.
Without the 1 and 2, like you say, how much will your style of play change?
It's going to change for sure, and we're not sure which way yet. That's what we're doing right now. There's a big consensus of going really big, and then there's one of going really small. But we'll have to figure that out.
Doc, in the past, you've always talked about you need a certain amount of luck to get through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Would you consider what happened last night like Buzzard's luck, which is the worst?
Yeah, it's not the best luck. I mean, it's the worst that I've seen. But, you know, there's storms, you know, and every storm, you know, it stopped raining at some point, you know. So we just got to figure it out. Like, we can't look in the future other than tomorrow. That's all we got to do. We got to focus on tomorrow. That's what our team has to do. We can't control the noise outside of our team. I mean, obviously, if you take Durant and Westbrook away, if you take Curry and I don't know which one, you can pick Klay Thompson or Draymond Green away, it changes your team, and we know that. But we don't have to be the best team. We just need to be the best team tomorrow. You know, and that's all we have to figure out. How can we be the best team tomorrow, and then figure out how to do it one more time.
What's going on with JJ's heel?
That's not good news either. I mean, he's struggling. You can see him moving. You know, nothing's going on. It's just it hasn't gotten better.
Now, when you look back on previous injuries, maybe KG, the year in Boston, or Perkins late in that NBA Finals,
Yeah.
Do those still stay with you? Or
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, listen, we had the best record in the NBA, and KG went down. You know, and and things changed for us, and we still almost made it to the Eastern Finals. You know, we were one game away from the Eastern Finals without him. So, you know, it stays with you, but it also tells you that you can do things, you know, with guys out. And you know, different guys are going to have to step up. And what I always have to convince guys with is you can't go in a game thinking it's you. You're the guy that's going to score 30 that night, because it's probably going to take 4 or 5 guys to do it. It's not going to be one guy.
Jamal pretty much has scored 30 in every game he started.
Yeah.
How attractive is that?
That's attractive. You know, that is attractive.
Chris controls the offense in a way few other people
Yeah.
do. How much do things change?
I think what's helped us is we did put in the motion this year. So, you know, if you look at the times when Chris was off the floor, we ran our motion stuff, and we were very effective at it. And it's a blessing we did that. Thank God we did that, because now playing without him, we'll be in motion for 48 minutes now, because we got guys, you know, with Austin and Pablo and Jamal, who, especially Austin and Jamal, are more scoring oriented. And that's why we put the motion part in, because we felt like that way they don't need to start their offense. Anybody can start their offense, but the ball has to move.
What's the defensive impact of losing those 2 guys, especially?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, you know, our best defense is when we had, at times when we had CP and Austin guarding. Now we just have one, and, you know, that's going to be hard. You know, there's no doubt about it. You know, that leaves one of those guys being guarded with one of the guys we probably don't want. So, but we'll figure that out too.
Will Chris be on the bench tomorrow night?
I don't know if he'll be on the bench, him or Blake, to be honest. I'm not sure yet. I've not talked to either one this morning, at least.
Doc, you've always talked about not believing in, obviously, curses or jinxes. You guys have always had to deal with something crazy this time of year, whether it's the owner saying something or crazy injuries. I mean, and it's during the playoffs. I mean, your thoughts on having to go through that this time of year?
Well, is it the Billy Goat, or is it the, I mean, I don't know what jinx is. Babe Ruth never played for us, so we didn't trade him. There's no jinx there, you know. So, I don't know. It's bum's luck 3 years in a row. You know, what can you do? You know, all you can do is you just got to keep going, you know. And I don't, obviously, this one was worse than all of them, you know, by far. You know, I guess basketball-wise, socially, you can make a case the other one was. But, you know, I don't get, I mean, I get down for like 5 minutes, you know, and I was last night. But you wake up in the morning and you feel like we're going to find a way, and it's my job to try to get them to feel like I feel. And if we do that, I think we'll have a fighting chance. Thanks, guys.
J.J. Redick's heel has continued to bother him, and you saw in games 3 and 4 that the heel has curtailed his production significantly. Now, Redick has to find a way to get himself going with the heel injury and without his 2 best passers, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin.
I feel like I felt like the whole playoffs. I'll be ready to go for Game 5.
How much is it affecting your shot, the deal?
Yeah, I'd like to say it wasn't, but it's it's definitely in the back of your mind. That's just something I have to continue to work through, and figure out a way to make shots.
Injuries will not be a reason why one team wins or loses this series. Both head coaches have acknowledged that the Clippers have played well when Blake Griffin and or Chris Paul were unavailable this season and in the past. So, Game 5 is at Staples Center Wednesday night. We'll see what the Clippers do with an opportunity to show that they still have a team capable of winning in the playoffs. At Playa Vista, this is Law Murray for Clipper Block.